Hey guys, 3Games here again. This is going to be what if Hobin went back in time. Now, if you guys are curious on how Hobin would go back in time, don't question it. This what if, or the model itself, is in the same universe as Lookism, where people have two bodies. Then it's in the same universe as it's another model called Questism, where this guy has a leveling system. It doesn't matter. Don't question reality. So yeah, Hobin is back in time mysteriously when he's roughly around like mid 20s, early 30s. He's married to Bomi, has a son with her. It doesn't really matter. His life is perfect, and he's one of or probably the best fighters in the world. So with this, Hobin is living pretty perfectly. He learned a few things from Taehun and everyone else. His life going pretty decent. So Hobin's his life is perfect basically. He learned like boxing. He learned boxing, learned a bit of kickboxing too. He learned judo, learned wrestling, just learned a few dozen martial arts at his time. He went from Samdek, which is Gale's dad. If you guys don't know this. Oh yeah, before I get into this will include spoilers for just like from the manhwa itself. But I'm also going to be referencing God of Blackfield in this one as well, so that will include future spoilers for that too. So yeah. So Hobin's body basically is basically perfect. Like he has a good height, 6'2". Like think about his like Sung Jun, like 6'3", pretty good height. His body is like his body's like he's built like Sung Jun despite not having any tattoos or long hair. It's just built like Sung Jun. So yeah, so eventually he gets back in time, and when he arrives, he's being pushed out of his mom's womb. No one's there, shockingly, besides his mother. But yeah. So we move on to when Hobin's roughly around 5 years old. He asked his mom to enroll in Taekwondo classes, and she agreed. Are you sure it's reference to Hobin took a martial art class when he was younger? Or maybe thinking of a different manhwa, but I think it was Hobin. But Hobin actually wanted to go to a specific dojo. Mom agreed and enrolled Hobin in this dojo. And the thing is, when Hobin learned Taekwondo from like Taehun, he learned ITF and what's the other one? Which is WTF and ITF Taekwondo. He learned both of those styles from Taehun. He's in there, basically. He actually tells them both he knows a bit of self-taught Taekwondo just from videos. Now, Taehun's father, Hyun Soo, would want to basically just let me see some of this little bit of self-taught Taekwondo. So then Hobin ends up running, then doing a basically 180 kick in midair, and it would have been perfect if he hit someone in the face with that. It would have been enough to knock out not knockout, but it would have been enough to actually stumble someone who's like middle school or high school. In the kick, Hyun Soo says, "Man, you don't need to pay the full price. Pay half of it. This is gonna be so easy to teach him. Taehyun, I found someone who's a better prodigy than you." His jaw dropped at that kick. Hobin says, "I can do a better one." And Hyun Soo yells, "Do the better kick!" Hobin then jumps in the air doing a 1,440-degree kick, but he doesn't land it. He just falls on his leg, and he's screaming in pain. He has a big pain tolerance despite being 5 years old. Well, he's technically he's roughly around 32-year-old man in a kid's body, but yeah. Pause. So Hobin basically just trained Taekwondo and with Taehun for roughly another 5 years until he actually ran into 3 people intentionally. First was Gale. He wanted to meet Samdek earlier. He met Samdek. He actually proved to be very good with various martial arts and the techniques that Samdek would futurely upload on YouTube in around a year or so. Probably even starting this year. Late this year, though. I'm not getting shocked. Actually does upload videos, not as many. He teaches them to Hobin specifically, but also Gale, we know that she learned some. But Hobin also, when you go into like one of the abilities that I mentioned for like spoiling out of Blackfield, basically, King Chen in his new body would basically, how do I phrase it? His body is aging to go back to age 28 physically. That's why he heals so fast and why he evolved in power so fast. Well, his body's kind of doing that thing. Instead, his body is kind of just upgrading its muscle mass faster. So Hobin's body's kind of going a bit faster. But once he gets back to age 30 or so, his body will end up going back to normal. So he has a long way to go before his body stops aging this rapidly. But it's probably not a long way. Probably when he was like 19 or so, is his body will be fully caught up. But it was still have the enhanced muscle growth and everything. He can be like Hyuk Soo, which is like Jisoo's brother. You can be built like a Kyokusu by the time he's 30 and did not lose any muscle mass from that ever. So yeah, pause. So basically, Hobin had met Gale's dad, met Semdak, who basically trains him now, and almost the whole body thing. But yeah, so he met Gale and Semdak. Semdak trained him personally. Alongside Logan Gracie also trains him. After that, he had also met Snapper. Well, Snapper was actually by accident, but yeah, just him. So when it came to Snapper, it was truly by accident, but him and Snapper got along pretty well. Snapper was a very stereotypical around 10-year-old at this point. He's the one that believed in this boy stuff, there's girl stuff, or girls can do that, boys should do that. This doesn't really matter. He's like kind of that 10-year-old. But Hobin doesn't know that Gale and Snapper do get together later. But still, he wants them to get together a lot earlier. So eventually we'll get like Snapper to befriend them. But also does get like prove that girls are decent because Gale beat him in a fight. After he met Snapper, he eventually had met Mangi, not Mangi. The Shiram wrestler. So I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Shiram, not like Serum or whatever, but pretty sure it's Shiram. So let's go on to basically just when you met Mangi. You know, Mangi's kind of just like in a park, just like wrestling with whatever parental figure he had. Hobin says, "Oh, the Shiram wrestling, right?" Mangi used to say father. We're not going to give him a name, but it says Hobin. Yeah, it is. Well, says yeah, it is. How do you know that? Hobin says, "Oh, I can do a bit of it too." Mangi says, "Oh yeah, really? You can't be that strong, you squirt." Then Hobin appeared just right in front of Mangi, picked him up, and body slammed him. Unfortunately, Hobin had picked up Mangi like it was nothing. Hobin just laughed, saying, "It was really easy." Hobin like being seriously sheer wrestling against Mangi and winning pretty effortlessly. And Mangi finally can actually confirm these techniques are like advanced. Like they're like champion level techniques. How can Hobin do these? Taeyeon just appeared next to him, saying, "Don't question anything he does. It's gonna be really confusing." Like father said, "Yeah, I can tell." Suddenly Mangi yelled, "You something else! I guarantee you, I can beat the other martial art. Sheer wrestling's the best." Hobin says, "All right then, try this." Suddenly, Hobin then did a 180-degree kick, nailing Mangi right in the face and knocked him out clean out. Pause for time. All right, so basically, so when Mangi woke up, Hobin had been like massaging his legs and telling Taehoon, Snapper, and Gale to get on it too. Mangi's a bit bigger than them, so it just take all three of them to do it. But with Hobin being the biggest one, besides Mangi, he's able to do one leg by himself. Mangi woke up questioning what they're doing, but Hobin says, "From now on, you're our friend. Got it? And you'll be training with us at Taeyeon's dad's dojo." Mangi says, "Is his dad any good?" Hobin says, "Is he any good? He's a legend." And Hobin went on a rant about how strong Taeyeon's dad is. So yeah. So yeah, we just move on to after this to roughly about probably when Hobin's around 13 or so. Probably not 13, but like 14. He's 14. His body's just extremely built. Like he's a lot more built than the whole. Like he's about as well built as Taehoon is. Him and Taehoon are even the same size. But the thing is, Hobin's a bit more lean, but Taehoon knows that Hobin's body is basically sheer muscle only. So eventually we go on to basically just when they're 14. At this point, Taeyeon wasn't playing kids at his school, but instead telling us to come to the dojo, but just being very aggressive about it. At this point, only one person comes, and that'd be Do-won. So Do-won did arrive at the dojo, and Taeyeon isn't really mad about it, just questions, what can Do-won do physically? Do-won says nothing, but Hobin is like, he's aware of Do-won's backstory, he's aware of all that. But Hobin says, "Trust me, I have a good feeling about him. He may be a prodigy like me." Everyone is actually told it's just showed off the 180-degree kick to Do-won, telling him by the time the day is over, he has to do at least that kind of lift off. Do-won actually wanted to try the 180-degree kick and landed it successfully. Hobin winks at Taeyeon, told ya. He immediately yelled, "Why can't I do that yet?" But Hyun Soo basically said, "No worries, doesn't matter." But yeah. So with this, Doan says it's Dojo, and Taehyun isn't as mad about it. He's just mad that he can't do the kick yet. So yeah. So eventually with this, we go into Doan's backstory happening pretty normally, until we go on to Doan about to be beat up by those guys in that bar. The bar, I mean, in the arcade. The difference is, Hobin arrives, but no one knows it's Hobin. Not even Doan does. Hobin, well, he actually inherited the Samdak costume. Samdak stopped uploading videos, so it doesn't really matter. Hobin ended up taking the mask. It's like, he stopped uploading videos around a year or two ago. Hobin ended up taking the chicken mask and the shorts and everything, or the gi mainly. So he took the gi and kind of wear sandals and chicken mask, and he's being up the bullies alongside Doan. Someone recognized a lot of this as Taekwondo or boxing, even. By the time Hobin's done, he says, "Have you learned your lesson yet, you damn delinquents?" When the leader says, "Yes, I did, sir," I'm saying, "You! I just don't like you." Then kicks him right in jaw full force, and everyone heard it break. Hobin walked away with Doan and that random girl, telling them, "Let's go now." They leave, and we move on eventually to around a year later. Doan's body is actually pretty well built. Around his, like, you know how Yonu G, or not, pretty sure it's Yonu G, the guy with the glasses and the Kyokushin karate guy. He's basically really buff and trains in his room the whole time. It's kind of what Doan does. Like, he says he's studying. He does study a bit. He's actually just a natural genius. But he doesn't really do any studying. He just gets it all right or gets the same grades without studying. So all he does is in his room is train the whole time. Whenever his dad's walking, he just like pretends he's studying. So yeah. But eventually Taehyun got sick of this, walked into to Doan's house, dragging him out, telling Doan, either you come today, or you either I drag you to the dojo by force, or you send him to your dad and come by your own accord. Which is Doan sending it to his dad for the first time. Doan's dad tried to hit him. Doan grabbed his dad's hand, telling him that you'll not lay a hand on me for trying to be my own person. Doan let go of his father's hand, and his father says, "Well, if you're your own person, then you can get the hell out of my house." Doan smirking as he pulled out his phone, and then kind of dialed in. The note of the North Korean number for 911 is 112. So Doan calls them, and then calls a case of child neglect. And then eventually the cops do arrive, and Doan's father almost got arrested until he agreed to let Doan live there and live his own life too. So yeah. So with this, eventually Doan does eventually be able to live his own life, and it's pretty free. But now we go on to Hobin, who happened to actually drag everyone to the docks. But everyone's not wearing their own outfit. Gale's not wearing a hoodie, and then a mask and a hat. Snapper's doing the same thing. Everyone goes to Taehyun's to the dojo, like Taekwondo dojo, or they end up going to Hobin's house and training. But they're all really good martial artists. But with them is a new guest. Well, Moon Song. Logan Lee found him. Logan actually had him fight Hobin. Hobin beat the mess out of him, but Hobin did actually say he was a pretty impressive guy. So with this, Moon Song is with the group. But 3 of them are wearing chicken masks. Hobin, Moon Song, and Taehyun. They wear Samdak 1, Samdak 2, Samdak 3. Then Mongi is also kind of wearing just the same thing as Gale, like a mask, a hat, hoodie, everything. So with all this open, she tells them something about illegal is going on here, and then they'll stream it. But he actually just set up a camera somewhere, and he eventually says, "Let's do this." Something a boat would arrive, and off steps a few fishermen, but they begin unloading a few skeptical things. Everyone does question what's illegal about that. Someone identifies all that as very illegal drugs. Howard says it's a good thing Song caught on. Howard says he doesn't care, he just wants to get in a fight. Doan's also there wearing a chicken mask, but Fred mentioned that he's wearing a chicken mask. The only thing is, Hobin isn't wearing the upper half of the gi, he's not wearing that shirt part, kind of wearing the dogi or the pants, and then the sandals and the chicken mask. That's really just it. But eventually, he then yelled, "Go!" And they all burst out and began beating down everyone in their way, until 2 last guys step out, being, Lee Jin-ho and, Seung-jun. Once Seung-jun walked out, he was questioning who these rats were, as he could tell at least 2, 3 of them were kids. Well, Well, at least 3 or 4 of them were kids. Tae-hun, Hobin, Mangi, and Moonsong were kind of like he's skeptical about that, but the rest of them were most definitely kids. Suddenly he dashed at Hobin full speed, so Hobin suddenly jumped. Well, he tried to throw Hobin with a judo throw. Hobin just landed, saying, "Oh, judo, right? Good thing that I know wrestling." Then he picks up and suplexes Moonsong, and just does it over and over again, like picking up Moonsong. Sungjun, slamming him on his back, then on his back, then on his face, on his back, on his back, on his face, on his back, on his face, over and over again. And Sungjun can't get away from it. Hobin's grip is too strong, then the speed is just too unreal. By the time he's done, he lets go Sungjun. But then this where everyone's fighting with Lee Jin-ho. He beat most of them up, but still, he's kind of bruised up. Asking what the hell are these monsters? But all that's left is Do-won and Moonsong, where that's no standing. It's panting and covered in bruises. So suddenly Hobin appeared and just decked like Lee Jin-ho across the jaw so hard that like just sent him flying off the boat. And they hit the ground unconscious, and he got everyone off the boat and woke them all up. And then eventually ended the recording that he set up. And so he kind of tied up Lee Jin-ho and then called the cops and everyone else. But yeah, Lee Jin-ho and Sungjun were tied up. But if you guys don't know, Lee Jin-ho is 2 for 4. So as he talks to basically Lee Jin-ho and Moonsong, telling them that they should stop causing trouble in Korea, and that the shipment is now shut down. They can't go back to Japan, but he's giving them one more chance. If he even hears that they're causing trouble again, he'll make sure to beat their ass himself. And he won't hold back like he did this time. But he leaves, and takes the camera with him. Lee Jin-ho suddenly dashed at Hobin full speed, only to have Hobin's teeth, not teeth, but his fingers shoved in his, like Hobin's fingers shoved in his mouth, and Hobin using only finger strength to slam him right in his head. So that knocks him out. We on to when Hobin and everyone else is now 16, and Do-won is actually the head of his school, not Tae-hun. He actually beat Tae-hun, but it was only because of endurance. Tae-hun was actually better in technique. And so, yeah, just the sheer endurance of Do-won allowed him to win the fight. But actually just confirmed that him and Tae-hun are on the same playing field. But then whatever school Hobin goes to, well, yeah, Do-won actually revealed to everyone that Hobin is the head of that school no matter what. But in this school, Hobin and everyone else, well, not Mangi and Do-won and Tae-hun, they happen to meet Rumi. Plus, Bomi is also pretty present, but Hobin met her earlier just to befriend her. Yeah. So in this school, they met Rumi, and they get along pretty well. So eventually, Rumi is actually convinced to become their friend, and Hobin says, "You can even hang out at our dojo because you have no friends, and we'll be your new friends." She agrees, and after school, she's been doing their whole martial arts thing. She asks what benefit she could get from this, but Hobin says, "What can I get from this? Don't boys hate this?" Hobin says, "No worries. Buffaloes are attractive." And yeah. Now we move on 2 years later to when they're all 18. Hobin is still known as the head of whatever school he goes to, but no one ends up believing it. But they don't want to test it out at all. They never want to test it out. So if you guys are curious, the video that Hobin recorded of Sungjun basically the 4 Samdaks beating up basically everyone in their path on Sungjun's boat or Lee Jin-ho's boat. Well, that video was uploaded, but they blurred out everyone's faces. So yeah, but they basically just said we're the great Samdak crew, and we stop any crime in our path of justice. So yeah. So we should move on to eventually when Paco start bullying Hobin. Hobin doesn't really care about it as like all of his hits don't really hurt. Paco would just land the kick on his back, and Hobin isn't fazed by it, just walks away from it. Also, his mother's in the hospital. Hobin's mother is. One day, Paco actually asks Hobin, "Did your mother drop dead yet?" I'm wondering if I can use her phone or something. This should make Hobin pretty pissed off. But Hobin hates Paco with all of his heart still. While suddenly everyone hear Paco hear a loud slap, even in the hallway with the door shut and window shut, you can hear the loud slap. Suddenly everyone bursts into the room, seeing Paco on the ground holding his cheek and a few teeth on the floor too. Hobin then says, "Get up." Suddenly Paco's kind of nervous, so Snapper grab him basically by his shirt, lifting him up, saying, "Yeah, you heard the man, get up." Suddenly he pushes Paco at Hobin, and Hobin is slapping him again, and he's slapping him, and the sniper keeps picking him up, throwing him at Hobin again. By the time they're done, and basically just you see Parker holding his jaw, crying, saying that I lose, I stop, I'm done. Hobin says, "Good, you learned." So yeah, everyone's looking. Paco's basically head just kicked into like the chalkboard in front of them. Not his head, but his whole body basically. Hobin kicked him in the face so hard that his whole body went flying into the chalkboard in front of them, and he just gets knocked out by that. Hobin then walked away, telling them he's just gonna go blow off some steam. He looked at Moonsong, Snapper, and Bomi. Moonsong, Snapper, and Rumi telling them to take care of Paco's lackeys in here. One of the lackeys looked at Rumi saying, "What can she do to me?" Before he just gets a good old roundhouse kick right to the temple, and Jesus says, "Oh, I can do a whole lot to you." That Snapper and Moonsong being dropping all Paco's guards, right? Not guards, but his lackeys in front of them, just everyone in front of their path that was related to Paco. So Rumi's also a beauty streamer still, but also a fitness streamer. Hobin has his channel set up, it just doesn't really upload too much. The channel is just called Samdak, or Fighting Chicken as it's known. Well, channel is called like how to like the Samdak / how to fight. Hobin basically like gives a few techniques, but also just him beating up random delinquents. The channel is already roughly around 1.4 million subscribers, so pretty high. But yeah, so we should move on to when Hobin is probably the next arc. Yeah, we can just move on to like when Bomi gets hurt. Well, she hurts herself from that prank channel. When it comes to them, well, Hobin heard about that and immediately just had his forces just ambush them. Well, kind of just Gael and Mangi. They eventually Gael punched one of them in the nose hard. The guy sent flying, and their nose is broken. And then Mangi beat up one more. Then they both just use one command attack to knock out the other guy. So one key difference in this, Mangi doesn't know Taekwondo, but he does know boxing. Hobin taught him that. So Mangi's a wrestler and Shiram wrestler. He also does know a bit of like just I guess traditional just like the wrestling you do in high school or something like that. He does know a bit of that too, but also boxing. So yeah, he's a pretty good all around fighter. Also, some people think he's like fat or anything. It's all like everyone feels like he's like a giant 6-pack and everything. It's like what they see him having. How much he has to train because of Hobin, his body is kind of just toned. So yeah. So we move on to just the next thing being the viral Hook saga. Viral Hook is like the impersonator. This one they don't really call like. Also, Hobin, everyone that doesn't know Hobin's face is like Samdak eventually. Like once he beat Paco, showed his face into the camera. So everyone knows that he's a loser, or looks like one at least. So he shows off his body and like fucking a goddess. Oh god, it's a god. But yeah. So yeah. But eventually, Viral Hook just tried to do the same thing, showing off his body. But he does make a backstory saying that he got involved with the wrong crowd. They kind of pressured him into getting tattoos. And he was their property until the tattoos until he could hide the tattoos. Everyone felt bad for him with the sob story, and he says that he has to defeat anyone who's like him, and he'll give them a few fighting tips along the way. That kind of goes the same way until Hobin met him for the first time. First, Hobin starts to sign over his channel, and the guy, he was doing it. Well, Hobin faked doing it, so he's like kind of bite his thumb, put blood on it. And he stops. He says, halfway through, he says, "Oh, never mind. I don't wanna." He ended up wiping blood on his shirt. Suddenly, but Viral Hook would swing at Hobin's head full force with a kick. Hobin basically just held out like 2-3 fingers and blocked the kick immediately. Hook's questioning how Hobin did that. Hobin says, "Don't worry about that." Suddenly he just uses enough force to actually twist push his foot so hard that the guy spun in a full circle. Suddenly he's kicked right in the knee so hard by Hobin that you heard it just break. That Viral Hook hit the ground screaming in pain, and Hobin just walked away. Next day, we go to Sung Jin's warehouse, but his hideout, and he's noticeably a bit more buff. He looks at Viral Hook, who's screaming in pain, was yelling, and why would you make me impersonate him of all people? He's a monster. He's like, when go through that or something. This hurts too much. Before like Sung Jun or anyone could tell him what to do. No, it kind of just Sung Jun in there and Sung Jun and Hyuk-soo, not Hyuk-soo, Hyun-soo. Pretty sure his name is Hyun-soo. Hobin basically walked in. Then stared right at Seung Jun and I just asked, "Have you been on good behavior like I asked you to, Seung Jun?" Seung Jun immediately flashback to the sandbag they beat him up. Unless this is probably the guy who did it. He looks at me and says, "Don't come near me." Only to have his chest stomped on by Hobin, and he just passes out from that pain. Hobin ended up taking the guy's phone and leaving the channel, and then just telling him, Seung Jun, this is all I wanted to do. That he leaves, and yeah. Yeah. Pause. Alright, so we just move on to the viral hook arc ending, and yeah. So we should move on to basically just Hobin kind of formed his company a bit earlier. Plus with the money he pulls in, he's actually able to buy like a whole building for them to be in. But this one's a bit bigger and a bit different. This one actually has a streaming room for basically everyone. It's like Hobin, Hobin, Rumi, Mangi, and Taehun. Just like those are the only ones with channels. But yeah, those would be like just some big rooms in general for people. There'd be office rooms originally, but these rooms there's like one boy room, one girl room, in case people get too tired to go home and stay the night there. So yeah. Plus on the bottom floor happens to be like a small vending machine area, kind of like a public area. You can walk in like this open vending machines, and then people can go in there and just get drinks and stuff from the vending machines. People don't actually rob it. There's a face outside with Hobin's face on it saying, not Hobin's face, Samdek's face on it saying, "Rob me and I'll put you down in the afterlife." So people don't rob the vending machines, and this is a decent source of income alongside the channel. So they're pretty good with that. Now eventually we move on to Hobin. Well, first, not before that, we go on to the flashback. Roughly when Hobin was around 12 or 13. When he was 12 or 13, not 12 or 13. We was roughly around Pause. Alright, so when Hobin was roughly around, well, not Hobin, but this person would have been probably around. This person would have been around 15, and Hobin would have been around 15. Hobin would have been around 12 or 13. And this person, they're kind of taking pictures of the landscape nearby. I've been talking to them, and they go along pretty well. Eventually, around a month later, the person did get arrested and was sent to juvie for 6 years. He recently came out. You guys can tell the person happened to be Wang Guk. So yeah, so he met Wang Guk. Wang Guk went a month before Wang Guk went to juvie. Well, Hobin does sign to an XJ company just because to torment Seung Jun. Seung Jun doesn't tell 244 or Lee Jin Ho that Hobin is the one who beat them up those 3 years ago. But yeah, no one knows that besides just Seung Jun, or knows Hobin's identity besides Seung Jun. Hobin's in his company, and Wang Guk is happy to know Hobin. Not to know Hobin's running the company. So with this, we should move on to probably just the next, important thing being Gale trying to basically ask Hobin for big record, but he says no, knowing the trick. And Wang Guk says he'll give her one, but then she asks Do-won, and he gives her one. This does make Wang Guk kind of pissed off, but he actually does tell Do-won to not touch her next time, and he agreed. He wasn't as worried about it because Hobin's someone pretty strong, and he knows this just from the videos. But no one knows that Hobin is above Seung Jun, besides Seung Jun. So yeah. So, but Gale just questioned like when they leave, just questioned Wang Guk on why he didn't beat up Do-won. But Wang Guk reveals he knew Hobin before he went to juvie, and Gale's like, damn it, so it won't work on them. Work on him when it comes to Wang Guk. Well, actually does piss her off. So one important thing, why Wang Guk is so nice to Hobin and his crew. Hobin was willing to visit him in juvie. Only Hobin. But Wang Guk actually asked him to bring Gale, and Hobin did know that, Wang Guk seeing Gale in that mess actually make their bonds really stronger. He didn't want to do it, but he didn't know that's what had to happen. So he kind of just left Gil, but actually did leave her a bit of money. Like occasionally, just left her a few $100,000 But yeah. Eventually, around the time that the fight would originally happen, Gil does actually make a fake video, but says she lost a crew member, so it was hard to upload the video. This is when Gil actually left, and because he couldn't stop her from uploading the video, but immediately he started his own channel before anyone knew. Well, not before anyone, before Gil knew. As soon as the video uploaded, he basically revealed the whole thing, saying that he's her older brother, but also the cameraman for the channel. And he's the one that left, and the reason she left is because she tried to have him forge info for Rumi. The fact that all fake info and everything, she tried to have him help her with that, and he refused to because he's actually friends with Hobin. He leaks his whole past, telling them how Hobin was the only friend to visit him in juvie. And he refuses to disrespect that trust and that friendship. So, by any means, don't hate on his sister, but please don't believe anything you hear in that video. Gil still looks at the video, and is mad at Wang Guk. She asked him why he did that and why he hid all of that, but he basically says there's no need for her to lie to gain just to gain a bit of validation. But she then yells at Wang Guk to get out, and he says he will. So then he presents the Hobin New Company. Pause. So Wang Guk leaves and heads to Hobin's company, or the Hobin New Company. He just walks up to one of the floors. Well, everyone's just waiting for him. And Rumi would think Wang Guk for standing up for her, and he just said no problem. So yeah. But eventually, this does go on to basically, spark the whole Rumi and Wang Guk shit. So Wang Guk being 20 or so, again Rumi being 18. Actually, no, it would work. Never mind, doesn't matter. All right, so yeah. We can move on to the next arc being the beach arc. So yeah. But Wang Guk actually does tell him he's apologized for his sister, and actually says he's willing to do anything they want for their channels, just to gain a bit of money. Han puts out the boys' room, telling Wang Guk he can live there, as long as she does promise to actually film for their channels, anyone's channel that they ask him to. And they'll give him around a quarter amount of money that they earn off the video. But if the video earned a lot of money, they'll give him at least half of it. So yeah, so into decent living, same amount of money that he earned with Gil. The difference is with Wang Guk, she has to quit the channel. The thing is, he doesn't stop by and give her money or just give her food or anything. But she does apologize to Wang Guk for flipping out and doesn't acknowledge what she did was very wrong. So she has to let him move back in. So yeah, so he moved back in with Gil around the beginning of the beach arc. The thing is that Gil deleted her channel and no one is really mad at her because Wang Guk revealed the truth, and just because of plot, no one's mad at her, but they do just side eye her. But yeah, so and Rumi actually has people not to hate on her either. So yeah. The beach arc goes on, and we go on to basically those guys hitting on Bomi, Rumi, and Gale. But the Gale's being turned to Rumi for a bit longer. He doesn't know these guys are hitting on her. And Gale's saying, "No, I have a boyfriend." Bomi says, "Me too." And Rumi says, "Me three." Bomi referring to Hobin, Gale referring to Snapper, and, well, shocking to Rumi, referring to Wang Guk. Wang Guk did the whole smoochy thing once, and she forgot about it. Didn't think it was dating. She said that to get out of the whole situation. But yeah. What else? So those guys are hitting on them. Eventually, they reach the guys' return. They're in the boyfriend's return. And when Guk is with them, but so is Gil. They try to hit on Gil. So they try to hit on Gil. Only don't want to step in, telling them back up. And they just don't know who he is. Look at his body, seeing the guy's completely jacked. They all the guys in the group, and seeing that they're all completely muscular. Even Snapper is. So with that, they all back off, kind of nervous. But Ung says he can handle them all by himself. He walks up to Mangi, the biggest one out of them all, and starts talking trash. Only money from Mangi just to suplex him and then knocked him out for the rest of the day. With that, Mangi asks who that guy was, and this is when Gale's "Oh, they were hitting on us earlier." Hobin, Snapper, and Wanguk suddenly look at the guys, and then Hobin says, We'll give you 5 seconds for each of you, so 10 seconds total. Run. Start running for 10 seconds. It's like 10 seconds are up. Everyone just appears in front of them, and then everyone hears loud banging and just screaming. They'll turn covered in a bit of blood, and they say it was no biggie. So yeah, Yonu reveals to be on the filter with Balmi's class, but Hobin isn't really kind of insecure at this at all. Insecure about this at all. Actually, would actually befriend Yonu. Actually does say that like there's Taehyun interested in fighting against Kyokushin karate, so she asked like Yonu politely to agree to fight Taehyun, and Taehyun agrees. Not Taehyun and Yonu agree. It happens, and they're live streaming it. When the fight's over, Taehyun had won, and pretty easily actually. But Yonu was admittedly really strong according to Taehyun. Sans a personality a bit different, the fact that he was around Hobin 24/7, who beat respect into him. Well, it doesn't really matter. Pause. Okay, we should go on to probably just usually the fight does end, the live stream ends. Yonu returns, and his dad actually asks Yonu what the fight was about. Like, is he getting mad at him? But listen, Yonu says that it's going to be streamed on both channels and uploaded to both channels. But Yonu ended up forgetting his phone. Well, the question is why he fights such a pointless thing, but Yonu says he wanted to fight for what he was passionate about. Father says studying. You should fight about studying, not karate. But Yonu ended up meeting Do-won, and Do-won could tell what kind of person Yonu was. Do-won spoke to Yonu about his experience with the same kind of father forcing him to study thing. But Yonu says he's fighting to be his own person. That's what he was doing, not fighting to be what his father wants. Yonu's smart as is, and his father needed to trust that, not just assume he needed to study all the time. Now these words actually did ring out in Yonu's father's ears, and Yonu's father just said, "Alright then, just be careful," and just walked away, just to question his ability to be a father. But Yonu actually did quit streaming, so yeah. But yeah, eventually Potgo is like still recruited by Seung-jun to like hire, to get Hobin's mother on board. Hobin, no matter how much time has happened, it pisses him off every time. So when this happens, Hobin is just even more mad. No, he beat Potgo up even worse. But with that, he walked in the building once his mom left. He was hiding around the corner. Then when his mom left, but the first time he walked right in. Potgo questioned like, "Oh, did you come back? Did you come back or something?" Or you see Hobin there. Hobin says, "Now, guess I'll kill you. Will kill you for talking about my mother, or using her this time." Before Potgo can even say sorry, he's beaten half to death in the middle of his own apartment. Until suddenly, someone heard screaming, called the cops. The cops arrived, and they assumed Hobin did it immediately. But all this crew, the Hobin was actually at the office that day, so there's no one saying that Hobin was the one to beat up Potgo. Now with this, someone heard about it and just shocked that Hobin's able to do that. Hobin basically walked in where Jisoo was, because Jisoo was in there too. He walked in, basically grabbed the contract, asking like, Seung-jun, where is it? He's about to grab the contract, and his hand is grabbed by Jisoo. Hobin was grabbed Jisoo by the neck and was like strangling him, telling Jisoo, "Don't touch him." Suddenly Hokusai would stand up, only to get like a very swift kick right to the groin, full force from Hobin. Hit the ground, just holding his groin as Jisoo just passed out from being strangled. Hobin letting him go and asks for the contract. Then 244 would walk in alongside Seung-jun. Well, Seung-jun already there. 244 would walk in beside Seung-jun and say, "So this is the little bastard who beat us up 3 years ago." Suddenly, Hobin ends up taking his shirt off and says, "Fine, let's fight. Use any weapon you want." Suddenly, they rushed at him with knives, but Hobin just dodged all the strikes with pretty much no effort. Before he ends up doing an overhand jab right in the face of Seung-jun, and Seung-jun is knocked to the ground. Hobin then would dodge one of the punches slashes from Lee Jin-ho before using a flying knee, kneeing him right in the nose, breaking it. When he landed, then landing an elbow strike just right on the jaw, and didn't break it, but everyone just heard a loud noise come from it. Then Hobin ended up using an oblique kick to actually get Seung-jun away from him once Seung-jun got back up. But before like Sung Jun could even just get it far enough away, Hobin would run at him before using a spinning back kick, nailing him right in the neck. That knocked out Sung Jun, almost broke his neck too. Before Hobin ended up basically doing a I'm gonna give you like the full name before I just tell you what it does. A dual and panic attack, or hitting both the ears full force, or slapping the ears full force. Hobin would do that on Lee Jin-ho, and Lee Jin-ho suddenly just falls to his knees, just coughing. Not coughing, but just panting. Then just falls over with his ears bleeding. Hobin ended up slamming his fist down on the ground full force before basically Yonu's father would walk in. Yonu's father would walk in, saying just Lee Jin-ho's face would be crushed by Hobin's fist. Looks around, saying basically not Wang Guk, seeing Lee Jin-ho unconscious, or 244 unconscious, Sung Jun on the ground beat up too, and then sees Hyuk-soo and Jisoo beat up too. And just, oh, you must be Yonu's father. This is a chance, honestly. Please leave. Father just turned around without a second thought, leaving. Suddenly, some gangsters would walk in, question where Sung Jun was at the meeting, only see him beaten up in the middle on the floor with a few guys around him. But Hobin's the one standing above them all. But he already knew they're probably coming. He put on a chicken mask, as he brought it with him in a bag. He put it on as they walked in, and they didn't end up seeing his face. But some kind of chicken mask would dash toward them full speed and beating them up. With them being beaten up by Hobin, eventually by the time he's done, they're all just scattered all around the whole restaurant until Hobin just leaves. And yeah. What else would be next? I'm pretty sure it's Rumi becoming a model for some company that would be he became a model for Lee Jin-ho's company, but Lee Jin-ho was beaten up, and then Hobin had called the cops on him. He's arrested, but Sung Jun was allowed to get out to go for the warning. So yeah, Sung Jun eventually is actually asked to change his ways, and he agreed. But those three guys that Lee Jin-ho had, he did call them only to try to pay his sentence out. But Hobin beat them up the moment they arrived in Korea. Hobin himself beat them all up before they arrived in Korea. Not before, when they arrived in Korea. Well, not about himself, but he had Mangi, Wang Guk, and Tae-hun with him. So once these are all beaten up, eventually this whole thing does end. The whole story would end. Well, Lee Jin-ho is rotting in prison without anyone to bail him out. Sung Jun is allowed to basically live a normal life in Korea and become a successful politician. Hobin just marries Bomi, but at a younger age, and they have a kid a bit earlier. This is going to end the whole story. If you enjoyed, like and subscribe for more. Bye.